You've just acquired a new train layout from Noch or other manufacturer, cleaned it up, and now you're ready for the most important part of building a layout, track laying. Thank goodness the manufacturer has provided track plans, and if you follow them carefully, it should be an easy and straightforward process putting the track in place, right? Wrong. I have built several dozen layouts by Noch, Hibri, and other manufacturers since the early 1990s. And I've discovered that many times the plan doesn't go according to plan. In this video, I'm going to talk about 12 important things manufacturers don't tell you about laying track. So let's begin with that dirty dozen. Number 1, the manufacturer track plans. Sometimes slight imperfections in the layout, such as bumps or warping, can affect how you lay the track. This has been my experience with several layouts and may cause for an adjustment in how you lay your tracks. Also, track plans may call for adjustable tracks. However, all of these kinds of tracks can disrupt a smooth running of trains. You may prefer to cut sections to put in, such as I did with the RADII layout you see before you. And finally, you may want to modify the plan, such as I often do by including a turntable. Number 2, track quality. I often buy used track to save money, but you have to be careful not to get crappy track. Crappy track leads to crappy operation. Another thing is some new track is more expensive than others. However, it may be worth the extra money if your trains run better on it. I once bought some new track and the turnouts were really bad and the trains kept fouling on the turnouts. Number 3, curved track radii. Don't make the mistake I once did in purchasing a beautiful Noch layout, only to discover none of my favorite steam engines would run on it due to the tight curves. Check out a layout plan before purchasing to see if your favorite trains will actually run on that layout. 4, the look of the track. Choose track that has the appearance you find most aesthetically pleasing and or realistic. I chose Arnold brown tie and blackened rails on the layout you see before you simply because I just like the looks of it. 5, electrical resistance. As a 4-year-old, I discovered my Lionel train would slow down the further away it got from the hookup wires. Since then, I almost always have more than one place where the transformer is connected to the track, which track plans don't show you. 6, terminal connections. Track plans almost always identify special terminal tracks for connecting the track to the transformer. However, these are typically unrealistic and unattractive. Consider soldering wires to the rails underneath the rails instead. 7, turnouts. Put a bunch of turnouts together and you'll increase the likelihood of derailments. So you better be careful if a plan calls for a number of turnouts aligned together. I've also found out that having a train enter a turnout from the opposite side of the movable points leads to less problems and fewer derailments. 8, one long run or 2 short runs. For very small layouts, one train having a longer run often looks better than 2 trains with 2 little short runs. Sometimes they look like the steam trains, especially freight trains, are chasing their cabooses. 9, track attachment. I once had a track plan that called for using glue. Well, the sure thing that happens when you glue track to a layout is sooner or later, and probably sooner, a remote turnout will eventually fail and then you'll have a mess on your hands. Use track screws, don't use glue. Just say no to glue. 10, roadbed. No roadbed on your layout? Noisy trains. Use cork or some other product underneath your track. Most model railroaders use some type of roadbed and then they ballast with matte, a kind of a thin glue, and fine-grained gravel. However, Don't make the mistake I did with trying that out for the first time on the layout, and the glue went on the grass and turned it different colors. It was quite a mess. Practice before trying this out. Because I often sell layouts on eBay, I have used what's called AMI Instant Road Bed. It's a rubberized road bed that has a ballast-like texture and appearance. And I do this because if I use ballast matte and then I ship the layout, inevitably a lot of it's just going to break loose. And I also really like the looks of it, and it's kind of sticky on the top and bottom, so it's easy to put your track on there. And I still use some track screws, but I don't have to use as many. Number 11, function tracks. You may want to substitute tracks in the track plan with trigger tracks that can activate accessories such as crossings or signals, and you can also use these to automate your turnouts so they will turn in a particular sequence. Finally, number 12, cover the layout. Keep it clean by topping it with, for example, a thin, clear plastic covering such as used by painters. Something like that. It's nothing's worse than looking at the layout and then it's just full of dust. And once your layout really gets dirty and full of dust, it is really difficult. It almost seems impossible of cleaning it up. Well, I hope this dirty dozen of suggestions will help you. And I hope you have happy railroading. Please subscribe, hit that like button. We will really appreciate it. And have a blessed day. Thank you.